Nigel Farage has never been one to shy away from controversy, and his latest outburst has once again ignited a political firestorm. This time, the former UKIP leader and vocal political commentator has taken aim at the government over what he calls racist guidelines concerning dog walking. Yes, dog walking, something as seemingly innocuous as taking your furry friend out for a stroll, has now become the unlikely center of a heated debate. So, what exactly is going on? According to Farage, recent guidance released by a government body or affiliated organization included recommendations for dog owners to be mindful of cultural sensitivities when walking their pets. This reportedly includes avoiding walking dogs in areas heavily frequented by individuals who might have religious or cultural reservations about canines. For context, in certain cultures and religions, most notably Islam, dogs are considered unclean, and interactions with them are avoided. These guidelines, Farage claims, are an overreach and an example of woke politics gone too far. He argues that such measures not only pander unnecessarily but also risk creating divisions by framing ordinary activities like dog walking through the lens of cultural or racial sensitivity. Have we really reached a point where even walking your dog is considered offensive? Farage reportedly asked during a recent broadcast. His criticism didn't stop there. He suggested that guidelines like these prioritize minority concerns over the majority, fueling resentment and creating unnecessary tensions. For Farage, this is another example of what he sees as a broader trend of political correctness eroding British traditions and freedoms. But let's pause for a moment and consider the other side of the argument. Advocates for these guidelines argue that they aren't about infringing on anyone's rights, but rather about fostering mutual respect in diverse communities. In multicultural areas, they say, small adjustments can go a long way in promoting harmony and understanding. The intent isn't to ban dog walking but to encourage mindfulness about where and how it's done. Still, Farage's comments have found resonance among a segment of the population frustrated with what they perceive as an overly sensitive approach to integration. Critics of the guidelines agree with him, calling them yet another example of pandering to political correctness at the expense of common sense. Meanwhile, others dismiss Farage's remarks as sensationalist, accusing him of stoking division for political gain. The government, for its part, has tried to downplay the controversy. A spokesperson clarified that the guidelines are non-binding recommendations and not enforceable laws. They stressed that they were designed to offer general advice for dog owners who might be unaware of cultural nuances in certain areas, not to impose restrictions. But Farage isn't buying it. He's using this debate to highlight what he sees as the creeping influence of identity politics in everyday life. To his followers, this isn't just about dogs, it's a symbol of a larger battle over British identity, freedom, and the balance between respecting diversity and preserving traditional values. The debate has quickly spilled over into social media, with hashtags trending and heated arguments breaking out in comment sections. Supporters of the guidelines argue that small acts of awareness can foster better relationships in increasingly diverse communities. Meanwhile, Farage supporters see this as an absurd overreaction that's emblematic of broader issues in British governance. As the dust settles, one thing is clear, this seemingly minor issue has tapped into deep-seated frustrations on both sides of the cultural and political spectrum. Whether you see Farage's stance as a bold defense of British traditions or an opportunistic attempt to stir controversy, there's no denying his knack for grabbing headlines and framing the debate. So, where do you stand on this? Are these guidelines a thoughtful step towards inclusivity, or do they represent a step too far in accommodating cultural sensitivities? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more nuanced takes on the stories shaping our world. The conversation doesn't stop here.